Let's get to some economic issues. We know that a free trade agreement is being negotiated between the European Union and the United States behind closed doors, known as the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership. Our Chancellor Angela Merkel is, along with President Obama, is touting how this will boost jobs, economic growth, development, and trade. You completely rebuff the term free trade agreement and assert that they're not free, that they do not promote global trade, and they're anything but agreement. Could you elaborate on this?
I'm sorry, I didn't quite.
Okay, no problem. I was talking about the free trade agreement that is being signed.
Yes.
And you completely...
The transatlantic agreement?
Yeah, exactly. Could you elaborate on this transatlantic agreement that's being signed between the United States and the European Union?
Well, first of all, we have to remember the 5 filters. It's not a free trade agreement. It has virtually nothing to do with free trade. Virtually nothing. Tariffs do exist, but they're very low, and change in the tariff agreements means essentially nothing. It's a protectionist agreement. It's anti-free trade. Now take a look at its, first of all, it's in secret. Remember, it's crucially in secret. The population's not supposed to know about it. Now, it's not totally in secret. The corporate lawyers and lobbyists who are writing the agreement, it's not secret from them. So it's not secret to the corporate world. It's not secret to the state authority. It's just secret from the population. Already tells you something. Pieces have been leaked, some of it through WikiLeaks. One piece that was leaked was the intellectual property rights section, which is one of the core elements of the agreement. What are intellectual property rights? That's a complicated word that means highly protectionist measures to ensure the profits, the exorbitant profits of American and international pharmaceutical corporations and media corporations. That's anti-free trade. That's protection, extreme protectionism in the interests of very wealthy and powerful parts of the corporate system. Other parts are called, which we don't have the details of, remember, because it's secret, but looking at other agreements, we can guess, are a variety of investor rights provisions to ensure the rights of investors against the population. Take, say, NAFTA, which we do know because it's there, we can see. It was also negotiated in secret, but now it's public. A large part of it is guarantees of the rights of U.S. investors to what's called national treatment in Mexico. So if General Motors invests in Mexico, has to be treated like a Mexican company. If a Mexican human being comes to New York, he doesn't have the rights of an American citizen. Quite the contrary. He can end up in prison for the rest of his life. But American corporations have to have the rights of Mexican businesses. U.S. agribusiness, highly subsidized agribusiness, totally against free trade, has to have the right to flood the Mexican market with produce that the Mexican campesinos can't compete with, of course. So that sets up what's called a refugee immigration crisis when they're driven off the land and they flee. That's NAFTA. One of the provisions allows a corporation, not a person, not you or me, but it allows a corporation to sue a state if the state is taking measures which might potentially interfere with profits. So if Mexico, say, decides to set up an environmentally protected region where some American corporation wants to invest, they can sue Mexico for taking their profits, their future profits on the area that Mexico is trying to protect. That's, again, human beings can't do that, corporations can. These are the kinds of provisions that you see in the trade agreements. They're not free trade agreements. They're not about free trade. In fact, to a large extent, they're not about trade at all. And they're certainly not agreements, at least if people are part of their countries. People are mostly opposed to them. which is why they're in secret. So every word in the phrase free trade agreement is just false.